Good evening, Advantage members. It's Monday, June 21st, 5:30 p.m. Prices of Bitcoin currently at 32,124. Since our morning video, we have not really done a whole lot other than stay in this tightened range. I told y'all that shorting this area right here specifically may not be the best risk to reward trade. What we can do, however, is if we get a pop out of here and then prices start to roll over again, this is probably something like that. We can go short right there. Okay. Ideally, what we want to see, ideally, what we really want to see, if you are wanting to still remain bullish in this range, which it's very tough to stay bullish now, given the fact that we've already come back to this 31K level once, twice, and now basically a third time, right? Because we hit a low of about $31,600 earlier this morning. So kind of tough to be bullish in this whole range, given the fact that we are going to hit this area 3 times in the span of less than a month. Okay, so what do we do here? I think the best thing right now is to just sit tight, wait patiently. What we've been doing in the Advantage side, obviously, you guys know very well, we took a couple of shorts on some of these altcoins, like I had mentioned XRP. Remember, we got into XRP up here. Stop was over here. We took profit around, what was it, 74 or 75, something like that. Of course, come Sunday, this is the hammer candle that we saw. And then today, we're just seeing a market-wide sell-off, right? So though we got out Saturday and Sunday and we closed out those positions in profit, it was just very hard to know what Monday was going to be like. So right now, I'm not positioned in any shorts other than the fact that, I'm still short biased or bearish biased. And I'm still looking for lower targets. So in the simplest sense, let's just say if we're looking at XRP, when we initially took this trade, this risk to reward trade was set up for an entry around 83 with a stop around 86 with a target around 56 to 55 down here. And it looks like that one is pretty much going to come true, barring any sudden changes over the next few days. Because here's the thing, right? This was previous, capped resistance right there, wick into that area, support. We broke that support. Now, the next biggest level for a TSR level is this area right here. So that's around 56 to 55 cents. Now, you can still go short, by the way, okay? So what you can do is, say, for example, you can do this. You go short right here where prices are right now. Your stop above today's daily and your target profit right there. It's not bad, but not such a great risk to reward trade right now. Okay, but I think the trade is still there. And the only caveat to this is I don't like entering short trades when a market has already moved off the highs so much, meaning it's already down 14, 15, 10 double-digit percentages, on a daily candle, which XRP clearly is. Bitcoin is basically down, almost 10% on the day, right? So trades like that, I'm okay with missing because, you really don't know if you're going to get that continuation to the downside, or you might get, a one quick wick and then, maybe some squeeze that happens to the upside and then it rolls over the next few days, right? So I prefer to avoid those situations. Now, with Bitcoin, I told y'all that $31,000 level, this level right here, probably the most important level. Now, you can make the argument that, oh, well, what if we just need one more sweep here and then we start aiming towards 42 or 45? Well, why would you need that? Because you already had the first area of liquidity, this previous higher low that was set from this low right here. Swept that low, pushed up and went to about 41,000. And then you rolled over again. So I don't buy that, oh, we just need one more liquidity sweep and then we're up. I don't think so, right? If there was any time to have us move from this level to or 45 or 50K, it was here. It's not now. So I urge you guys to be careful with your long positions in the market. Obviously, on the advantage side, I've been warning you guys over and over again. Please be careful with your bias, especially with the altcoins. There was just, even after this big sell-off that happened the last couple of weeks, right? Whether it's Solana, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, I mean, everything was down a lot right here. And when popping back up, I told y'all that in this pop, we need to start considering shorts or getting out of our positions that are spot positions. And that's exactly what we did. We started shorting and getting out of our positions here. Okay. Now, sadly, I missed out on this Solana trade because that would have been beautiful. You know, I entered the Solana trade back here, and I think I got out somewhere around this candle right here, right? I missed this next leg down. So now I'm just going to wait patiently. I don't really care if Solana goes to $20 or 10 or 5. Okay. All I'm really going to focus on is if I see bounces in the market, they'll look like this. You know, if they look like that, I'll short here or here. What I ideally want to see, let's just say, you know, Solana from a level to level perspective. Okay. I want to see Solana, first of all, close down here. And then I want to see a couple of candles on the daily reach up to this area. And then I want to see it roll over. Okay. Once it rolls over, especially below this marker right here, which is around 28.50, or even if it gets to, I don't know, maybe like $31, $32 right here, and then it starts rolling over again, that's your first short. Your second short could be added as soon as 28.5 gets broken. Okay. Personally, I'm just looking for shorts, and I have been for a little while in these altcoins, right? You guys know that very well. So I'm going to continue to look for shorts until that formula stops working, because I still do believe overwhelmingly that majority of people are still net long and bullish on the altcoin market. And I don't think they've felt enough pain. Pain is when you realize that your positions are down 70, 80, 90%, and it's been 3 months or 6 months. So this could drag on further. I don't think we're going to get immediate drops. At least I hope not. Well, I'm hoping not. I don't really care which way it goes and how fast it goes. I would actually make the argument that if we actually get, say, another 1 to 2 days of strong selling, like these kinds of candles, and we sweep this low, and somehow, right, say somehow we come back into this range and hold. Okay, so what I mean by that is, let's just say price, you know, has just horrendous candles coming into this area, and then it bounces off that range. Well, then this might be your first entry. This is basically, you know, knife catching, or a better entry is right there. You get that higher low moving off this level. I know those prices sound crazy because we're at $27. I'm telling you to wait for $13 or $14, which is another almost 50% from where we are. So I know it sounds crazy, but again, bear with me. It is possible. Don't think it's not, because all those people who talk about, well, you know, Solana is still a bargain at $50. Well, they're nowhere visible, right? So point is, if you get that buying opportunity and you're really inclined to buy something like Solana, well, guess what? From the highs into the zone, you'll get a 70, maybe 80% discount where you buy in this zone. If you like it that much, go for it. Okay. So, what else? So yeah, we were talking about other altcoins, Ethereum. So I mentioned this chart earlier. I was kind of just joking about it, but honestly, there's not really a whole lot to joke about it. It's pretty real. You know, we got 9 days to go in this quarterly close right here on Ethereum. And this is how this candle looks like. This is probably the worst gravestone doji candle that I've seen on any large asset, like in a while. So a quarterly candle, and this is not like a weekly or a monthly. This is 1 quarter. That's huge. So when you get a quarterly candle like this, at best, this is a pause. At worst, this is a reversal of the entire altcoin market because Ethereum dictates everything about altcoin sentiment, altcoin money flows. So if Ethereum is printing something like this, we got to hold on to our panties because the next few months might get really okay. In which case, if Ethereum closes a candle like this, and let's just say, I don't know, in July and August on a quarterly basis, we get some pop up like here, and then we start rolling over, you go short right there, stop above this area, and guess what? You're aiming for previous highs around, previous highs around 1400. These quarterly candle closings right here around $750, $800. Those would be the biggest levels that you should focus on in terms of your short positioning. Again, I know those prices sound insane because Ethereum is at $2,000. And here I am trying to spread this bear FUD about $1,400 and $800. I get it. Okay. But I'm just giving you guys contextual understanding that when markets start to sell off, things accelerate really fast, especially if we know that the macro markets are not looking that healthy. We know for the most part that the Fed has been walking back their talks about, the tapering and inflation now being a potential problem on their radar. And we know that that has impacted what? The dollar, right? We've pushed up on the dollar a huge amount. Now, today, obviously, the dollar is down on the day, but we know over the last, week or so, the dollar built a huge W bottom, pushed up off the lows, right? And it started to put a pause on US equities, crypto, gold, growth tech stocks. And at the same time, right, we got the 10-year yield going as well. So you could see that there's a lot of macro factors that are kind of stepping up and giving everybody, whether you're in crypto or the US equities market, they're giving everybody a bit of a shock. And, the shock might last a little while. The bear pain could last a little while. So for now, as I told y'all, I'm happy to sit in cash. I'm happy to take level to level trades here and there, in and out. But if you don't need to take those level to level trades, it's okay. Wait for the big pops in the market and follow what the trend in the market is, which is, in my opinion, a downtrend. So just like he bought dips here and right here and right here and right here, it's the same thing. You do the other way around. You short the pops, right? Whenever you get a pop, short that. Pop, short that. Not financial advice. Again, this is just how I go about the market, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. And I've been telling y'all that this is what I'm doing. So far, it's gone well. Okay. We shorted Rune and XRP and Dogecoin. Even Doge, like, where's Doge today? Doge is down a lot. That was like one of my favorite shorts because I just knew that Doge was going to get punished. Let's see where Doge is today. Oh my goodness, it's at 20 cents. I think we had gotten in right around like 32, 33, right? Heck of a sell-off. Anyway, point is, I'm going to look for pops in the market. Okay. All right, let's look at some questions. Jake said it did take ages to pop above 20. Yeah, it did. Are you going to share any short calls as you make them soon? Well, I've been talking about short positioning in the market for a little while. Like, I'm sorry, what do you mean exactly? Let's see. Your scalps. No, no, I'm not going to announce those at all because that's a complete like degen account. So what Elizabeth is probably referring to is this, completely like joke of an account, which I started. I started off with like 175 bucks. Actually, I started with 100, and then I was very close to liquidation, so I added another 75. So basically, I had a $175 account. I've been using excess leverage on it, and then I grew it to like 800 or 700. Then I grew it all the way to like $1,200, $1,300. Came back all the way to like $300 or $400. Now it's once again close to about 1,000 because I actually closed this Matic trade out in profit. So I'm close to about $1,000. So this account is not at all a skill-based account whatsoever. And I will not talk about it because it gives the bad impression how I'm utilizing leverage, how I'm trading the scalps in and out. If I'm looking to take any position in the market, will be supposed to use that advice just to let y'all know once again. All right. So yeah, those scalps I won't be mentioning, but I've been telling y'all for a little while, right? Like we know that the market has been struggling. Every single perma bull has been shaken up for like the last month. So what's the surprise? You should have been taking profit. You should have been careful and positioning your altcoins. You should have been considering shorts or hedges or whatever, right? I know I did. Yeah, and I told y'all when I did. And I told y'all to be careful about the market. Every time people ask me about, what was it, like Solana or Theta, right? Theta was like a very common topic that we would discuss. And I know Elizabeth and Jordan and all these people were talking about Theta. And, I know y'all mentioned that this was looking strong and there were fundamental events. And I told y'all it doesn't matter. When the overall crypto market is selling off, you look at the key resistance levels and you just sell it or you short it. That's it. It doesn't matter how great some altcoin is. There's another coin that was mentioned, KSM or Polkadot. All these coins, everything that we have talked about in the altcoin market has hit all the resistance levels that we spoke about, like 485 for KSM. I told y'all, unless KSM gets above 485 and holds, it's still a short. It doesn't matter. So another one, T-Fuel, right? T-Fuel might look strong right now, but T-Fuel looks the same as KSM did a couple days back. So what I would do with T-Fuel, I would short it. I don't really use Binance anymore, but I would short it. What would I do here? I just simply place my stop above this high and I'd short that thing. I'd short it probably into this level right here. Whoops, right there. What level is that? 0.41. Okay. I probably short that right into that level. Okay. So any altcoin, I know someone asked me about SRM the other day. Like, does it look good? I mean, nothing about this chart looks good. Like, there's nothing compelling about this, Again, but this depends on your time horizon. Like, you want to hold SRM for 6 months or 1 year out, then of course, yeah, this looks great because it's coming off the highs and is down 75, 76%. But I also told you that you have to prepare yourself that an altcoin from here can also go down another 50%, which could be around $1.50. That was the last time SRM went into an accumulation range between October and January in 2020, right? So can you prepare yourself for that? If so, hey, then these are fantastic buying opportunities, right? There's really nothing wrong with it. Okay, so I encourage you guys to start really thinking about your time horizon as you consider going long in these positions or you want to buy spot. Because everything that we've spoken about in the market so far has been playing out to the T. We're just really cautious in the market. It is not at all necessary that just because a market is going down that you have to be positioned short. Okay, staying in cash is still a position in the market because you're effectively saving money and time and energy by doing so. let me see here. DBX says, will you be looking to build more long-term swing shorts that you may keep open over weekends? Not really. I mean, technically I would like to, but here's the thing, something that I've learned in crypto, and this is solely about me. Okay. You might be, better at this. I don't think that many people trade well on the short side. And I'll be honest, I don't think I do that well in crypto. In equities, like, it's much easier because you don't get the same kind of volatility that you do in crypto, right? Like, for example, the other day, excuse me, my dogs are barking. Sorry about that. So the other day I was looking at, I think it was like Step or Maddox, I don't know, something, right? And I looked at like a 1 minute or a 15-minute chart, and there was a wick. Okay. It was like a 15% wick that ripped, all the way up. And 15% is like, that's a pretty decent stop, right? Like, if your stop is 15% away in a market like this, you're pretty safe. But had I gotten stopped out on that, and if I were in that position, I'd be really pissed, right? So I don't like situations like that, because for the most part that the markets are thin. For the most part that, especially on the short side of crypto, it is very, very tough to know exactly when the pops of the market are going to come. And also, we know that crypto is in a multi-year bull market. Whether you're in it for the technology or whether you're in it for profit maximalism, it almost always pays off to be a bull in crypto. So why do I need to start thinking about, swing shorts in crypto? I really don't. Because for the most part, I just need to weather out the storm. I need to take money in and out of these trades, and I just wait till the next time around I see, a swing trade popping up to the long side or a new bull cycle starting. That's all I got to do. I just got to wait it out. And guess what? If we are patient enough to stay with this market, ride the internal swings here and there, and wait for the trend, honestly, we will outperform 95% of people in crypto, because most people don't really know that waiting is also a key part of trading, right? So that's all you got to do. You just got to wait out the people who are just in a rush to make money. Can I look at HYG? Yes. So this is the high yield growth bonds today. Is that what you mean, HYG? I mean, I guess they're still kind of moving sideways, though. They're not really breaking out, But the Fed also did say that, they're not really, like, we looked at the balance sheet the other day in our last video, right? And I told y'all that the Fed has actually been not as big of a participant in the bond ETF market as it had been last year. Like, here's a simple example to recognize: big sell-off, Fed gets involved, Fed starts reducing their exposure in the HYG space. And all we've really done is just go sideways. All right, it's pretty obvious. Okay. So, for the most part, I personally don't really think that, this is a chart that is a surprise to us, because we already know that the balance sheet is cutting down. We know for the most part that from last week's FOMC meeting, the Fed is paranoid about inflation. They did have a brief conversation about tapering, right? The market got spooked, not because they had anything negative to say, but it was because they didn't have something very positive to say. And typically, Jerome Powell is like, your favorite grandmother or your aunt who comes in with cookies and good news, right? All the good things that your older relative is associated with. But this time, Jay Powell, our favorite uncle, did not come in with good news. He came in with a more somber tone. and the somber tone shook the markets. So the more rational he is, and when he starts to recognize that, hey, okay, we get it. Maybe inflation is a problem. We get it. Maybe we need to taper, right? That's when the markets get spooked. And I think all these things are related. HYG, 10-year T notes, the Dixie, right? US dollar, and then of course, growth and tech stocks. Okay. Any other questions? So make sure you'll read Harry's update because he put out a pretty big update here in indicator analysis just about a couple of hours ago. I really like the update. I think you guys will like it. I also put out an update in indicator chat, just mentioning things that I'm recognizing on the daily and 4-hour timeframes regarding Bitcoin, some key support levels that we're looking at. So, at present moment, we know very well that this white moving average right here that we're watching, which is right near 31,000 or so, is cracking. If it breaks, where's the next support level in terms of MAs, right? The moving averages. It's around $24,000 to $25,000, which also happens to be that little last bit of consolidation right there on a multi-day basis. I think my overall concern with that is, why should something, right? So let me turn all this stuff off, okay? Let me get rid of this thing. And we know, I don't really believe in this. I mean, it is a head and shoulders, but like the target for this head and shoulders is like negative $1,200, which is really stupid. So let's just delete that for a second. Okay. So here's my caveat, or here's my, my thought process. Okay. This is clearly a big consolidation. A lot of things happen in this area. Number one, Elon got involved. Number two, MicroStrategy bought in this level multiple times. Number three, institutions announced that they were getting involved in Bitcoin. So if we are coming back to the same area here where institutions got involved, and if we start cracking this, why should Bitcoin prices only land here in this piddly little consolidation? Again, it's possible we do land here and we do bounce here, but why? Like, why is the reason? Other than the fact that it's just a small little consolidation that we look at from the technical basis. So what I propose is something like this, which is we need to zoom out and look on the weekly basis, okay? Even on the weekly basis, here's our Shepherd indicator, basically showing us that, hey, we're in complete free fall. Momentum is to the downside, multiple bearish divergences pointed out, and a top pointed out right here, coming off the overbought territory, right? Nothing about our Shepherd indicators showing us that we're ready for a turnaround. Aside from that, on a strictly horizontal level basis, where are the next key support levels? 20K. And then on a weekly consolidation basis, the last time we really consolidated was back here. That was a multi-week consolidation that we had. Whereas that between 12.5K down to about $10,000. Again, I've told y'all about Solana coming into the 13 and 14 range. I told you about Ethereum coming into the $1,400 to $1,000 range. And now I'm mentioning to you that Bitcoin, could get to 13,000 to 10,000. All these prices I know sound absolutely stupid and ridiculous. I get it. Okay. I'm just letting you know that we have to pay attention to stuff like this because guess what? No one else is. Okay. So unless price shows us that it is ready and willing to get above key resistance levels. So the first one obviously being, okay, the most obvious level right here. Let me go to this chart right here. The most obvious level on this chart that we can get bullish about the whole market about is above here. We got to get above 40, 41 and hold. I'm fairly confident that if BTC can do this, I'm fairly confident that we will have another alt season because there's no way in hell that Bitcoin gets above this level and we don't have another alt season or another big leg up to the entire crypto market. But that has to happen first. And by the way, if we get above this area, there is no way we're stopping at 64 or 65K. I'm fairly certain we're getting to at least 75 or 100K. Because you don't put this in and then you get above 40 only to go back to 64 or something, or to 50K or whatever, right? Because either this is a very big distribution zone, or we are really wrong, and this might just lead to an upside move, and this was really reaccumulation, and from here we're really going to rip by July, August, or end of the year, or basically Q4, right? Does that make sense? Jake says, so the institutions that didn't take profit on the highs could sell after this area falls. Not necessarily. So it depends, right? First of all, the one thing that institutions are really good at is creating tops. So chances are pretty high that if the institution wanted to get out, they got out in this area, or they're currently getting out right here. There's no way that an institution is dumb enough to sell at losses like way down here once prices break down. If they were that dumb, they would not exist as an institution. Because if they have such big money in the market, they're there because they're the smartest of the smartest, the best of the best with the deepest pockets, right? So I don't buy that. If institutions wanted to sell, they got out here, or they're getting out now, or they already have, or they don't really care. They don't care if Bitcoin goes to 30 or 25 or 20. Maybe their time horizon is 3 years out or 5 years out, and they're very price agnostic. That's also possible. So it's not necessary that just because an institution is in that they have to be sellers once the market is going down. If their horizon is multiple years out, who cares if Bitcoin goes down to 20 or 10K? Maybe their targets are 100K or $1 million, right? We don't really know. And, if you really think about it, you should be thinking the same way, right? If you really believe that Bitcoin 6 months, 1 year, 3 years from now is going to be higher than it is today, then you got to ask yourself, what are you scared of now? Are you scared that it won't ever come back to these prices? Okay, that's always a possibility. I know I for sure thought that back here or down here or all through this, but once it finally happened, it happened, right? So if you believe in the long term, and there are some people in our community who are much more for the advancement of crypto and really, really in it for the tech, right? So if you're one of those people, then you got to ask yourself, do I want to buy into Bitcoin? Dollar cost average down. Do I want to buy into Solana or Ethereum or SRM or all these projects? Or do you want to wait? And there's really no wrong answer, by the way. Like, no one is going to, sit there and tell you, all right, guys, that was a perfect time to buy, kudos, you did it. Or no one is going to ring the bell when the bear market is finally over or the bull market is finally started. Okay. We're all kind of just, waiting to see where the market is going to take us. All right. Any other questions? Cool. All right. Wrapping it up. Cheers, everybody.